order of battle. The French army charged the longbowmen to kill the sides of Henry's army immediately. It was a horrible attempt, incredibly costly. They ran into this spiked palisades of the English defences. They couldn't wrap around the woods because they were too thick to hit them from the backside.
Right? And the mud,
yeah. I'll get onto that shortly.
Okay.
But they were shocked. They couldn't pierce the English sides, and the horses got out of control. They were confronted with hails of arrow fire,
Yes.
and in pointy spikes that basically caused them to like go into a frenzy and charge back across the battlefield into the French line, which just muddied up.
So it's the French that start it in the morning. They're the ones that charge first, and they've made a huge blunder right out the gate.
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of the wounded horses trampled back through the French lines, trampling even more men on the way through. Probably not killing very many, but still churning up the ground, causing disorganization and threatening the day already.
Yeah.
The main assault then comes from the French army, advancing through terrifying volleys of arrows, hundreds and thousands of arrows fired every minute, every second possibly, until the English longbowmen have run out of run out of arrows. They're picking off these men-at-arms as they advance. So the French knights had to run through this horrible, muddy terrain. They've got to run through maybe 100, 200 meters, wearing armor weighing 25 kilos till they reach the French center in this churned up mud. So they're basically completely exhausted by the time that they reach the English lines. They're wearing all this armor. They've been basically hit with thousands of arrows, and now they've got to smash into the English centre, and they've got to go into this bloody melee. French collide with the English centre. They push the English back slightly, but this doesn't continue for very long. The English longbowmen, seeing that the French line was too close for them to use their longbowmen, and they start running out of arrows, basically dropped their bows, picked up swords, hatchets, mallets, and this is one of the most important developments of the day, and something they very, very well illustrate in The King, the movie. They come out the sides, out of the woods, out of their defensive positions, in their lightly armoured garb, having no problem navigating the muddy terrain, and engage really, really bravely, fully plate armoured, walking heaps of metal.
That are exhausted by this point, basically.
They're tired, disorderly, massed up in front of them, easy pickings, and they pick them off stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
The French apparently were so exhausted they couldn't even lift their weapons. Some knights might have even drowned in the mud or suffocated in their armour and were killed in the thousands, potentially 6,000 in the first hour or so of fighting.